Karen, I rode the new, entry to the school right before I come up here.
Did you?
I thought they were gonna do something in that upper parking lot where they used to drop off at.
Buses, that's the bus lot.
Okay,
Where you get in off of 158.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's buses and employees parked there.
So will the new drop off be underneath the awning? So it'll go up, come down, take a right, go around, underneath the awning?
It's worked out pretty good so far. Until I think they finally got the stoplights synced just right. Every while, when they first had them going, it was all backed up. The lights weren't working right,
Yeah.
or weren't syncing right.
Yep.
Have you ever tried to do by
You good? You all
Yeah,
right?
that's what I
Bring
thought
up
this
very
was,
much?
cause it kinda looked like it. I mean, it's not, it's not exactly, but it's good. So hey,
Good to see
Lisa, you go to, when you go to Sheets, and you're like, you know how the registers are here,
Okay.
and then there's like
You
a
said,
bar of
okay.
last minute chocolate right here. There's some Dubai chocolates in there. Be careful, they're $9 a bar. Yeah, I told Beth, I said, how many you think has gotten picked up at last minute, and they're, I mean, they're like your little, your normal, but yeah, they're like $9.
cow? Must be special. I don't know what they got in them. Is it pistachio in them? That's
Yeah.
something green, but I don't know exactly what. Oh, okay, perfect. All right. The agendas, so they're right out here on the second block. Yeah, it'll be that last stack.
Pulling down this end of the.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're not gonna pay for closed sessions, it's going forward, so I want to tell you. When I break that news to you. I was just telling Robbie, I said, we ought to go dark in July like a lot of the towns do, not meet. And he said, poor Chuck wouldn't be able to afford that Mercedes he's got.
Yeah, that's right.
I said, have you noticed how ever since Chuck come on, we've had a closed session meeting every.
Almost.
I know, have you noticed that? That's just the ongoing theme.
Well, yeah, these renovations will pay for themselves.
Okay. I know, man. I'm like, what are we meeting tonight on? My wife's like,
We got 7 or 8 items.
my wife's like, it's gonna be early tonight. I said, no, it ain't gonna be early.
Well, it maybe, we'll see.
Kim. Had that not went into effect yet? Was that
This
for
is
last?
June.
Okay.
Yep.
That's for June. Oh, that's right, that's right, okay.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending tonight's session of the July Stokesdale Town Council. It is 7 o'clock, and I hereby call this meeting to order. This is July the 9th, 2026, 7 o'clock. If we could, please, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we would, please, let's bow our heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather this evening, we thank you for the blessings you have given our town and our nation. During this season, when we celebrate our country's independence, we are reminded that freedom is both a gift and responsibility. We ask, dear Lord, for your wisdom as we conduct the business of Stokesdale. Guide our decisions so they are made with integrity, with fairness, and with a genuine desire to serve all of our citizens. Help us, dear Lord, to listen respectfully, work together, and always seek what is best for our community. Lord, we pray for your protection over our first responders, our military members, and all who serve others. Bless the residents, dear Lord, of Stokesdale, and continue to make our town a place of kindness, of unity, and of hope. Lord, may we all do this evening, honor you, and benefit those who are privileged to serve. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, let's review and adopt the agenda. I do have a amendment. If we could, please, I'd like to request that we add an additional item. It can be number 13A. It would be a consideration of an invoice for the repair and testing of the backflow preventers at the interconnection between the town of Stokesdale's water system and the city of Winston-Salem's water system. Do we have any other additions, deletions? I'll entertain a motion to adopt it with that one change.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the agenda with the change.
Do I
I'll
have-
second.
Okay, any discussion? Take a vote. Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Huh?
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. And Mr. Wagner, if you would, in the minutes, note that Mr. Foy is not in attendance tonight. Okay. Item number 3, review and adopt the following minutes. We have April the 16th, special call town council meeting. That's April 16th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt those minutes as written.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? We'll vote. Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Landry?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I'm aye.
And I am also aye. I'll introduce a motion that we adopt the regular town council meeting minutes from June the 11th, 2026, as written.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
And I'm also aye. And I'll also introduce a motion that we adopt the closed session meeting minutes as written from the June 11th, 2026 meeting, as written.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I am aye.
And I'm also aye. Okay, item number 4, public safety reports. Mr. Wagner, do you have a report for the public safety?
I do. Let's see, I've got both reports here. So this first report is from the Stokesdale Fire District for the month of June, provided by Chief Todd Galton. He said he hopes that everyone's doing well. For the month of June, they had 42 medical-related calls, 17 fire-related calls, 36 other, for a total of 95. That concludes the Stokesdale Fire District report for the month.
Thank you. And for Guilford County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, they don't have a representative here, so I will give this one as well. For the month of June, the Guilford County Sheriff's Office responded to 197 calls for service in the Stokesdale town limits, resulting in 16 case reports. There were no significant incidents or crime trends that occurred in the township for the month. Calls by type, as a reminder, this is a call of type upon initial dispatch. Call nature is often changed after further investigation. Disturbance 3, alarm 18, assault 2, domestic 9, warrant 8, DUI 1, drugs 1, fraud 1, fire 1, motor vehicle theft 2, accident 3, other 107, suspicious 13, vandalism 1, theft 1, trespassing 1, and traffic 25. And the new breakdown that they've started providing us shows the amount of crime by the day of week and time. Looks like crime happens the most on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Today's Thursday. And time, looks like it's usually around 11 o'clock a.m. So, at least for this month.
That's unusual.
That is unusual.
And that concludes the Guilford County Sheriff's Office report.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Item number 5, administrative reports. Mr. Wagner?
Yes. Everybody should have a copy of this in their packet, but I'll just cover a few things here. So for the month of June, we had 2 water meters installed, 40 meters are in stock, 11 on applications for transfer of service and meters in, 4 water meters on hold for builders, 21 work orders, 59 811s, 936 water bills mailed out, and 24 reservations or rentals. Priscilla wanted me to make sure everybody knew that they read meters this weekend, and so we always try to make sure that we don't have any lingering bills, and we have absolutely nobody in the 60 or 90 day. So everybody's paid up. Couple quick updates. Our consumer confidence report was submitted and accepted by the Division of Water Resources for last year. That's something that you have to do by June of every year. We got that submitted, back of the water bills on the website, and also share Winston-Salem's as well, since we purchased water from them. While I'm on that, I will say I spoke with Mr. Babson just before this meeting, and Mr. Jones and I had spoke about this yesterday. The town has not received any correspondence from Winston-Salem that there's a water restriction, but I am seeing online that Winston-Salem is sending a notice to their customers saying that there's a voluntary water restriction. So I intend to reach out to Bill Brewer tomorrow. He's the utility director, to see if Stokesdale needs to share that with our residents as well, since we are purchasing it from Winston. So I'll keep you all posted on that tomorrow. Big news on the Coldwater Road water line extension. Classic City Mechanical has completed the installation of the 8-inch water main and the associated 5 hydrants. They're working on installing the air release valves with completion anticipated later this week or early next week. Upon completion, the contractor will begin pressure testing, disinfection, and do all of this to allow for successful testing. Hazen Sawyer Engineering anticipates that the tie-in work will be completed by the end of July. Once the town has a list of property owners, by June the 17th, we've asked these property owners that are interested in tapping into this new portion of the line to give us their either yes or no, and then by August 17th, if they would like to purchase that tap. As of right now, I think we're I think we're at 8. I did get one more response, but I believe it was a no, so I think we're at 8, either 7 or 8. And pay app number 5 was just submitted to us today from Classic City. And unless there's any questions, that concludes the admin report.
Might be a better question for Ms. Thacker, but what percentage of that contract has been paid out so far? Do you know off the top of your head?
I just wrote the third,
5th.
hold on a minute, yeah. I have that in here. 5th check today. Total, I have paid out, I don't have that spreadsheet pulled up, but I can get it pulled up really quick. We owe, after today, I wrote the 5th check, we owe, as of right now, remaining $709,890. So,
Balance remaining on the contract?
yes, that's the balance remaining on the contract, $709,890.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, you're welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Wagner on the administrative report? Okay, how about planning board?
Yes, the planning board report. It should be. Let's see, for the planning board report, the town of Stokesdale planning board meeting that was scheduled for June the 25th was canceled due to no applications being submitted. The next regular meeting of the planning board is scheduled for Thursday, July the 23rd at 7 o'clock here in the council chambers. And not exactly tied to the planning board, but a good time to mention it. There is a Board of Adjustment meeting next Tuesday. We submitted everything for the public hearing, at least 10 days, or no later than 10 days before that meeting. I can't remember the exact date that we did it. I think it was July the 2nd because they were closed on the 3rd for the holiday. But the public hearing notice has gone out. It's been posted on the property. Mailers have gone out. So everybody that needs to be informed has been informed. And the agenda packet will be completed and submitted tomorrow. So we received everything from the county this morning.
Oh, good. Very good. Mr. Rigsby, the property committee?
I have nothing to report.
Alrighty, very good. Item number 6, financial reports. Ms. Thacker?
Oh, I have that back. Yeah, we'll find them. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Wagner and I were looking for something. You came around to me quick. Okay. So we'll start with the general fund, as usual. The Bank of Oak Ridge, our CDARS, we have $3,142,628. Total of all bank accounts, and this includes the CDARS as well, is $3,438,494. Our accounts receivables is $13,068, of which the water enterprise reimbursement shared overhead expense for the month of June is $11,775. Our accounts payable for the month of June is $60, excuse me. And the total interest received, because we are doing June 30th, where this was the last month of our fiscal year, we're closing it out. The total interest received for fiscal year 26 is $113,684. I think that's great. We budgeted $100,000, so we did good on that one.
13 to the good.
So we'll move over to the water enterprise. Our CDARS with the Bank of Oak Ridge is $1,540,158. Our total bank accounts is $2,492,764. Our accounts receivable for the water sales, which also includes the June billing, is $62,097. We also have, our total accounts payable as of June 30th is $115,096. And again, closing out for June 30th, FY 26, our interest, for the total interest for the water enterprise account was $79,072. And we budgeted 55,000, so we did extremely well with that one. We went over $24,000 for the interest for the water enterprise account. And that is all that I have for the financials, unless there's any questions.
Any questions?
I don't have any.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Thacker. The item number 7, we do have an area for public comments here. I do have a speaker card request from Fred Thompson, if you'd like to step up.
Okay.
And please introduce yourself and your address.
Yeah, my name is Fred Thompson, and I live over here in the Landing in Angels Glen. And the reason why I'm here today is just to mention that we had a concern there over in the Helliston Court. We had a leak. And I want to thank you, Mayor, for coming out here and checking it on a holiday, which was the time it started leaking. But the leak, it was determined at first that it was not the water supply. So what happened was we had no choice. Our HOA is then to get somebody to come in. And first of all, we had Guilford County come in and see if it was a septic. Guilford County came in and checked all the pumps in the local area. They forced all the pumps to work, and they said, no, it's not going to be that. It's got to be the water supply. If you look at the septic runs in front of the house and over by Monaco, and at the end of Helliston, it does not even run across the road there. So it could not be the sewer, it has to be the water. In fact, what happens is there's right across the street from where the leak is, there's a connection over here, the leak was right here, over here is the fire hydrant. So that's where the water line has to run, and the only thing it can be. So we as an HOA had a contract with somebody, we had to do something because the road was up about this high from the water. So since, the water was supposedly tested and there was no chlorine in it, well, it was so diluted, and I doubt very much it would have been because of the mud. Anyway, the point is we had to spend like $7,200 to get them to dig it up so you could come out and realize that it was water leak. So your A&D came out there and took care of that, but in the meantime, we're gonna have to charge our residents an extra $200 to pay for this expense, which shouldn't have happened in the first place. So that's where we're stuck. We would like to get some reimbursement for that because, again, it was the water. It was the water. It was not septic or sewer. And like I said, we're kind of out of that right now. And that we just spent some money on fixing some septic, which is a different issue. But this is where we stand today. And we do appreciate you coming out there and figuring out. But somewhere along the way, there was some misunderstanding. And obviously, it was the water that was leaking in a copper pipe. There was a hole about the size of a pinky finger for an infant, and that was fixed by A&D. And A&D told us next time just to call them, but that's still not our responsibility. We still have to go through you. So that's where we stand. Like I said, we do have the expense. We would like to know if you could reimburse us somewhat for that, if not all, because we had to pay for that out of our HOA, and we're going to have to ask people to do a special allotment to get that money because we don't have that to cover it and the other expenses our HOA has. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thompson. Robbie, can you give us just a little bit of the scenario there with, because I know that, and of course, as Mr. Thompson said, that they did call me Saturday on the 4th, and I was not available until later on in the afternoon. And I believe you also spoke with the fire department, I believe, to come out. And so I had a call from Ryan at the Stokesdale Fire District also, wanting to know what to do. And of course, in the communication there, he checked. So if you would bring us up to date.
Yeah, I'll be glad to speak on it. So I think it started last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think was when the first inquiry was made and a work order was sent to Gene to go check it out. Gene being our public utility contractor with Yates Construction Company. He's kind of our go-to water guy. He's been doing it a long time. And so he went out there and took a look at it. And based on what he saw at the time, I think at that time it was still maybe, I'm trying to think, was that after the storm? Anyways, there was some reason to believe that he wasn't sure why the water was there, but he couldn't directly tie it to the water line at first. And then fast forward to last week, he had went out there on Monday, took a look at it, and said, okay, something's coming up, something is causing, because I think at that point the road had started to kind of erode away. And he said, something is underground that's coming up. We don't know what it is. When he had heard that there was off-site septic, there was a concern there because of the pressure used to move that septic off-site. That was one concern. The other concern being, you know, I think there's been a spring in that neighborhood before, and so that was brought up. And then, of course, you know, still the possibility of a water line, but he just didn't think it was based on, I guess, the area of the site versus the water main itself on the opposite side of the road and the meter being up in the yard. I know that Gary went out there last Friday, our water system operator in charge, tested the water for a chlorine residual, wasn't able to get one, but it sounds like where the water was murky, just as you had mentioned, there's a chance that it was giving him a false negative. And so that was it. I think Priscilla may have reached out and said, hey, this is, you know, kind of what our guys have found. This is where we're at. And on Tuesday or Wednesday, an 811 was submitted by the plumbing company, the private plumbing company. And I noticed the name and a phone number, and so I called him and I said, hey, it said water line repair, what's happening? And he said, we're gonna dig down in there and figure out what it is. And I said, well, as soon as you do, call us. If it is water, let us know. If it's not, still let us know. So sure enough, he called and he said it's water. So I went over there, I guess, was that yesterday? Yesterday, yep, so yesterday. And as soon as I got there, you could tell, I mean, it was water. It was coming up. So I couldn't quite see the line. It was so muddy around it from all the water, but the plumber there on site mentioned that it was a copper line, had a hole in the top. And so they had a good size hole there to get down into the work. And from there, came back here and reached out to Councilman Jones, Councilman Landreth, and they authorized the emergency expense to get that repaired. A&D was able to pull a crew together pretty quickly and get over there by the afternoon to get it fixed. And as of right now, it's such a wet area. Michael, I spoke with him before the meeting. He's letting it dry. And it may end up having to come back over there and take some of the wet out and put dry back in before he paves. But in a perfect world, it'll be paved by Monday. So, and that's where we're at. And I think we're still just waiting on a few confirmations on the repair itself. Other than that, we're good. So it's no longer shooting out of the ground. So that's the most up to date that I've got. So that's where we are.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So it was reported to us before they had the work done.
Correct, that's right. Yeah, they had reached out to us, and both times we done work orders, sent Gene out there to take a look, and both times he said he just didn't think it was the water system. And I think he spoke with Mr. Jones about it a little bit more, maybe explained his thought process behind that. I don't want to speak for Gene. I don't know that Tim or Mr. Jones wants to either, though. But that's just what Gene, had said. And so, and then when Gary went out there on Friday and tested for a chlorine residual and it come back negative, that kind of was like, well, okay, good chance that it's not that. So.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of get that background so you could understand and explain the communication and that we had internally and why we assumed that it was not a water line at that point in time.
We're gonna need to do something. I don't know what the procedure would be, but it's not like they went out and dug a hole before they told us about it.
Correct.
And it
Likely
was
something that-
our problem.
Yep.
So,
Do we need to, Chuck, do we need to discuss this in closed session? Is this
I think that'd be fine, because I guess I need to get more fact base from the HOA about what the arrangement was. Who was the vendor that did the work?
It was Benjamin Franklin Plumbing Company. I do, yes, yeah. I have a copy. Is that the invoice? Yeah. Yes, yeah. Total description. Was it 4 pages in total? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I've got the invoice. It was 4 pages. I think it had everything mentioned in there. I remember reading through the description of work, so everybody should have, it wasn't in time for your package, which were done on Wednesday, but everybody should have one on their desk there. So, and you should as well.
Okay.
It was that second attachment.
Okay. So I guess I'd be glad to discuss in closed session. I'd like to have a little time maybe to look over the documents, discuss it with the HOA and kind of what their
You gonna,
agreement was.
you gonna do it tonight?
Well, I mean, I don't know that I can have a chance to,
How long do you need to discuss it with them? Take 5 minutes?
well, I need to look at the documents first. I haven't seen these documents yet, so let me,
And we can go into recess when we,
I'm sorry.
we can go into recess for 5 minutes, you know, once we get ready to go into closed session or something. I don't know what it would
Yeah,
take so
and
long.
we have a closed session scheduled, so what we can do is discuss it then, and maybe I'll have a chance to review those documents. I'm still not seeing those documents, Robbie,
They're in, I saw them a minute ago.
in this,
Yeah, they're
in
in
this,
the loose leaf.
in this packet.
Should be 3
Here you go.
documents together.
Here you go,
With a
Chuck.
paperclip. That'll work.
Okay,
Should be my email on top and then the invoice attached to the email.
okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right, let me, and do I understand that the HOA has already paid this invoice?
No, we have not. No, we haven't.
Okay.
So we've, haven't done it, we could do that, it all depends on how long this would take, obviously, we don't want to leave
Right.
vendor. So one way or another, we need to be paid.
Right,
We haven't done it at this time, but we want, we just happen to see it as a ten.
gotcha, okay.
Great.
All right, so I would suggest give us, I'll be glad to review these documents while you discuss other things, if that's okay. And then may I discuss it with the HOA, and then we can talk about it in closed session.
Whatever, you know, we just need to do something.
Okay.
Don't let it, you know, don't need to lie for a month.
Okay,
All right, that'll be the plan then, if you will, Chuck.
Okay.
Look at that, and then at the end of our open session, we'll take a little respite, and if you do have any questions for the association folks, then if that's okay.
Very
with
good.
you guys.
All right, thank
Okay. All right,
Mr. Mayor.
yes, sir. Go down this way. Okay. All right, thank you. Any other comments from the floor?
Michael Logan, 5202 Rambling Road. July 26, summertime. It's nice and hot. Who wants ice cream? Y'all have a wonderful park out there, and as I have done previously in the past, we have rented the shelters. We have someone that's going to donate ice cream, and we're going to serve that ice cream, and got somebody that's going to cook some hot dogs. So we'd like the community to come out, get some hot dogs, get some ice cream, and basically enjoy Stokesdale. Stokesdale is a different community than any other community within Guilford County. You need to look at the taxes within Guilford County. 2026, Guilford County's tax budget was $842 million. Their proposed budget this year was $935 million. With the passage of the bill that John Bluss got through our House that put a freeze on property values, their bill's $890 million. It did not stop them from raising taxes, but it gave them where they had to vote on a tax increase. All tax increases should have a vote.
Absolutely.
And if I remember correctly, Skip Austin said people were going to die if they didn't get their $935 million. Well, guess what? They're only spending $890 million, so why didn't they need the other 45? And that's a question the public needs to ask. So, other note, come out and get some ice cream, get a hot dog. Special invitation to the council members. This isn't a business function, so I'd love to have the mayor and all the council members come out and enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Logan.
Thank you, Michael.
Anyone else? All righty.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I noticed the Honorable Mayor Flint just walked in. I would just like to recognize his presence.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Coming. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rigsby. Item number 8, consideration of statement of qualifications submitted in response to the request for qualifications, RFQ, for professional maintenance and asset management services for the town of Stokesdale's 300,000-gallon elevated water storage tank. Okay. And as you'll recall, in our meeting last month, June the 11th, we voted to approve a request for qualifications or to release a request for qualifications and with a due date from qualified vendors of June the 30th of last month. So as of June 30th, we did receive 2 RFQs, one from Utility Service Group, Water Solutions LLC, and the second was from Southern Corrosion Incorporated. That was received on June the 30th, 26 at 11 o'clock in the morning. Gentlemen, there is a copy of these RFQs in our packet there. I know that just getting those recently, I don't know whether we had any questions or any concerns or any comments with regard to those. I did briefly look through these. These appear to be very detailed presentations. We do have the documents necessary for insurance purposes, et cetera, with regard to certificates of insurance in addition there. As you'll see, the one from Utility Services Corporation, they are a local company. We have used them in the past. Their office is in Madison, North Carolina. The second submission that we received is from a firm, seems to be very well qualified, but they're located in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, which is, at this point, I believe, about a 3-hour distance from here. This would be a new affiliation with them. Robbie, did you have any? Mr. Wagner, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Sure, yeah, I'll be glad to speak. So, yeah, we put together that request for qualifications and submitted that after council approved it at the last meeting. We did get 2 responses, one from Utility Services Co. And one from Southern Corrosion. Both are great companies. I've heard from both of them before. Mr. Wilkins from Utility Services Co. has been out here, I think, on 2 or 3 occasions and kind of spoke with council. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were involved in the painting of the tower back in 2019 as well, maybe through SNME at that time, the engineering firm that oversaw that. But I've met with representatives from both. Both are very, very good. And so I would say at this point, the council has the qualifications in front of them. It's essentially your choice is which of the 2 are the most qualified, and you would meet with them and determine if they're going to meet your expectations for this plan that we have in place for a water tower, whether it be 10 years. That seems like that's kind of the going rate. And you'll meet with the first one, and if you find out during those talks that they're not as qualified as you thought they were, then you would go to the next. So, and then typically if you had more than two, you would just continue to go down the list until you found the right one. In this case, there's two. So, but that's kind of where you're at. So,
Okay. Or if you weren't happy with either one, you could say, we want to re-advertise again.
Correct.
That's an option you have to.
that's right. So, and I did, I guess just to touch on where it was advertised, it was sent out on the town's Facebook page. It was sent out on the website. It was emailed to these two in particular because I had spoke with him recently. And then I also sent it to the North Carolina Rural Water Association, our contacts there, and asked them to share it with any qualified vendors that they were aware of. So that's where this was advertised.
And resulted in two.
Yes.
Okay. Refresh my memory, Robbie, it was advertised for how long? 2 weeks?
Let's see.
Looks like June 15th, I guess, is when it was posted.
I've still got it on the website. I've got that it's closed. Let's see, I issued it on June the 15th. The deadline was June the 23rd. The deadline for questions was June 23rd. The responses, I promised to get responses to their questions by the 25th. The submission deadline was the 30th. So, yes, it was issued for 15 days.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion here that we meet with USG Water Solutions first and Southern Corrosion second, if need be, at a date to be determined at a later time, with council to take the next step with this. That'd be my motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Okay, call for a question. We'll take a vote. Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Thank you, sir. Okay. Item number 9, consideration of authorizing the revised advertisement for informal bids for control valve upgrades and SCADA system installation for the town of Stokesdale's water system by Hazen and Sawyer Engineering. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll be glad to speak on that if you'd like.
I'd love for you to. Thank you, Mr. Wagner.
Yes. So, as you all know, at the last meeting as well, that was a busy meeting for advertising work to be done for the town. So on June the 11th, council approved an advertisement for informal bids for control valve upgrades and SCADA system installation. That's supervisory control and data acquisition. They, Hazen and Sawyer put that together and advertised it on, let's see, it was advertised as soon, it was the week after that meeting. I don't remember the exact day, but the meeting was on the 11th, so it was the following week with a deadline of July the 2nd. We had a meeting on July the 1st, and at that meeting, our representative from Hazen mentioned that at the time, we had not received any bids, but we had received interest for bids. After speaking with Mr. Pohl, he explained that we may be best to extend that period a bit longer to get those bids. And so he has revised the advertisement for informal bids. And the only two things that will change, and they're redlined in your packet there, are moving that date from July the 2nd to July the 23rd. And then also explaining that a bid tabulation, it said, would be expected to the town council on July the 9th. Well, obviously that's today, so that didn't happen. So instead, it would be a bid tabulation put together by the next council meeting, likely the August meeting. Mr. Pohl sent this over, and I explained to him that I thought it looked good, makes sense, and that I would present it to town council for y'all to consider. And if approved, I will update it on our website, our Facebook page, all of that good stuff, and Hazen and Sawyer will update it on their end, getting it out to all of the vendors that they're aware of.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
With that, I will make a motion that we instruct Hazen and Sawyer to move forward with extending that date and re-advertising. And Mr. Wagner, at that point as well, you do the same on our various websites, et cetera.
I'll second.
You did say re-advertise, right?
Yes.
You have a second.
Thank you, Mr. Landreth. Do we have any further discussion? We'll take the vote. Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Landreth.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I am aye.
And I'm also aye. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Item number 10. This is consideration of ratification of temporary locator services agreement. Just real quickly, back on June the 19th, Mr. Winfrey prepared an agreement for temporary locator services. This was following conversation that we'd had on this topic. The agreement was subsequently reviewed and executed by Mayor Pro Tem Foy, Councilmember Jones, Town Finance Budget Officer Ms. Thacker, Town Attorney Winfrey, and Town Administrator, Town Clerk Wagner on behalf of the Town of Stokesdale. The agreement was also reviewed and executed by Dustin Hodges on behalf of A&D Enterprises. Following further discussion with Town Attorney Winfrey, it was determined that it may be appropriate for us to formally consider ratification of this agreement. And for that reason, we've put it on the agenda tonight. There is a copy of the agreement in your packets, gentlemen. This agreement, again, was a temporary locator service with various agreements within. And of course, it was done on a post-haste so that we could continue our 811 services.
When you say temporary, when does this have an expiration date?
I think it'd be terminated by either side, I think I want to say 10 days notice, let's see.
But I mean, that's all. I mean, are we just gonna continue using them? I mean, I'm fine with using them.
But yeah, actually, there is a paragraph in the agreement that says we can continue using them. It was, there was a stipulation until the end of June because of the fiscal year, but then they can do a number for us until we do find a permanent.
Okay, so
They're filling in.
so what's going on for other folks?
I'll be glad to speak on that as well. We're working on it to the point where Mr. Winfrey and I have brought Mr. Foy in, and so brought in the big guns to try to get some responses. I would say that our meetings with this company went very well. Mr. Winfrey reviewed our contract, had suggested some red lines. Speaking with the representative of that company, he was very agreeable to those red lines. That's why we felt comfortable having council review that and actually approve it at the meeting before last. Last meeting, yeah. And since then, we are still waiting on responses. So I do know that the legal team has reviewed it for this company. The review was not as favorable as I had hoped. However, our representative seems to think that he can take it up the chain and get what we're asking for. So it's just a matter of getting the information back in a timely fashion is what we've found difficult. But between my phone calls and text and Derek's phone calls and text and some emails from Chuck, I think we'll get something hopefully pretty soon. So.
I hope we're not too slow on actually doing the
Well,
service.
the good news is, it certainly wouldn't be the same person. And not to speak any ill will on that person, I think that he's probably very busy. I get it. But I do know that in my conversations with him, the two folks that would be responsible for doing the 811 locates for the town of Stokesdale, there's two of them. One lives in Winston-Salem, one lives in Greensboro. So we have coverage on both sides of town, which is nice. Right. I see them everywhere, to the point where I want to stop their vehicle and talk to them and say, who told you to come out here? How can I get in touch with them? But I see USIC all over the place, and they do so many locates already in the town of Stokesdale for other companies, communication companies, things of that nature. I think it would just make sense for them to do the water lines while they're here. We just need them to get us a contract in front of us.
Now, we're at the point now, we approved
Correct.
everything.
That's right.
So we don't have to meet on this again. We just sign a contract once they approve what we approved.
That's correct. I think at the last meeting, you authorized the mayor to execute it once
Right.
we worked out these legal.
All right, so we're ready to roll.
terms.
Once they, okay,
Correct.
that's good.
Yep.
That's good.
And again, Mr. Landreth, until that time, in the stipulations here, the parties have agreed until we do feet.
Till we do.
Until we
Okay,
do
so that's
contract
what's
with-
temporary about it.
Yes.
We're waiting on. Okay.
Exactly.
Mr. Mayor, with your permission, I'd like to speak about this, if I may.
Yes, sir, please.
Going back in time here, I'm in my third term, during my first term, which would have been, 11 years ago, something like that. At one time, the state of North Carolina did not require the town of Stokesdale to do these locates. Well, that changed, and the town of Stokesdale had to scramble and make accommodation for that. So the town of Stokesdale hired Yates Construction to perform this service, and that worked great for many, many years. As a matter of fact, we became kind of spoiled to Yates taking care of this for us. And because of changes in Yates Construction management and insurance parameters, Yates Construction has stopped doing those 811 locates for us. So we didn't have a choice but to try and make a deal with another company. We're in negotiations with USIC, as the mayor and Mr. Wagner's mentioned. And I participated in this emergency agreement to get us to this meeting, what was my goal, in conjunction with Mr. Winfrey and Ms. Thacker. We did this. At that time, we had reached out to two other locate companies two other utility companies that did locates, and couldn't make a deal with them. And at the time, I was fearful that A&D wouldn't be able to do this for us. I was speaking to them, and they were swamped with work. We hadn't, I think, 811 tickets here in the town hall, and nobody to go out and perform this work like we're required to do. To ignore this would put our water mains in danger, because if these locates aren't done, people don't know they're there when they're going to be digging, and that repair bill would be on the town of Stokesdale if we failed to get those locates done. And so I can't thank A&D enough for jumping in there and responding and doing these. Some of this work was done on the weekend, I think, after, I even at one point considered, had discussions with other council members to double what we were offering them. And fortunately, they stepped up to the plate and did it for the fee that they're charging us currently. But they didn't have to do this for us, and I think we need to be thankful that they were able to bail us out here. And certainly, if Councilman Landreth has pointed out, we need to make a deal with USIC as quickly as possible, or we need to get some other companies available to perform this work. But we can't just skip it, and it's been a difficult thing for the town to deal with over the years. We spend a lot of money doing our 811 locates, but we don't have any choice. So, thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other discussion? Okay, I would then make a motion that we ratify this agreement.
I'll second.
And we're ready for a vote?
Aye.
Mr. Rigsby, Mr. Landreth?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
And I.
And I am also aye. Thank you. Moving on to item number 11. And in conjunction with the previous discussion that we've had here, we do have consideration of an ordinance, a budget ordinance. And Ms. Thacker, can you explain to us the necessity of
Absolutely.
this?
We have combined this ordinance with the general fund and the water, however, it is two different sections there. As you know, the General Statute 1598 requires the local government and public authority to operate under an annual balanced budget. So therefore, I need, in the general fund, I need to increase our revenue. The reason I'm not pulling first, I need to let you know, I'm not pulling anything from reserves. We have made more money in the budget, so I'm increasing my budget by these numbers. In the general fund, I am requesting to increase revenue, town hall and park facility rentals by $3,304.63, which in that line item would be $5,304.63 in our budget. I am also requesting the ARPA American Rescue Plan increase by $1,887.81, which gives us $44,492.29. That is, the ARPA funds that we received, those kind of fluctuated and flowed over from 25 to 26, which, as you know, that we've just about, exhausted all of those funds anyway. So that is the only budget, that I'm requesting for the general fund. The total request increase in the revenue is $5,192.44, which then we will have a balanced budget.
Okay.
You want to do these together, or we have to do them together?
Yeah, I would
Okay,
say go ahead
okay,
and vote together.
Yeah, we
okay.
just want an ordinance.
In the water enterprise fund, I am requesting to increase again, we're not pulling anything from reserve. This is money, in addition over our budget that we have made. In taps and connection fees, I am requesting to increase by $20,000. That will give us $40,000. Water sales increase $6,000. That gives us $711,000. The system development fees, which is our capacity fees, I'm requesting to decrease that revenue by $4,692.42. That will give us $30,307.57. In the expense, I am requesting to increase our water purchase by $22,000. That gives us $331,000 in that line item. I am also requesting, as you just, for the 811 calls, for the marking of the lines, item number 12,003 for contract operations for marking lines 811 calls. I'm requesting to increase that by $4,000, which gives us a budget of $40,000. And at that time, we will have a balanced budget as well.
Okay, and have enough that it balances with the 811 calls that we were concerned about.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because I have all that information there. Again, just to reiterate, we are pulling nothing from reserve. We're more or less just moving money around, what we're doing. Yes, and it's all laid out in the ordinance.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then with that, thank you, Ms. Thacker. I will make a motion that we adopt fiscal year budget, 2025-26 fiscal year budget ordinance amendment number 5, and that is ordinance number 0-2026-06 with changes that were outlined in your description just recently here as discussed.
I'll second that motion.
Any conversation, any discussion? We'll vote. Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Landry?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I'm aye.
I am aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Thacker. Okay. All right, item number 12, consideration of a new public utility service vendor for the town of Stokesdale. Mr. Wagner, would you like to give us some of this information?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. So, as you all well know, we rely heavily on public utility service vendors. We've been blessed to have one here in town for quite some time, and still look forward to using them. We've been blessed with A&D Enterprise. Recently, we have council has agreed to start working with Brees Enterprise out of High Point. And we now have another company that has reached out that would like to work for the town as well. And I think that good catch. You're okay.
Now that we're awake.
Get your can now. As the water leak that happened previously on Hellison Court can prove, as well as Ellisboro Road a couple weeks ago. And I certainly have got calls in the middle of the night of water lines leaking. You can never have too many people to call to help you get these repairs. And so who reached out to me was Mr. Seth Webster. He's the owner of Southern Terrain LLC out of Greensboro. We had a good conversation on the phone. He was had heard that Stokesdale had a water system and wanted to reach out and offer his services. Spoke with him, was able to get some information from him. He kind of sent over a list of his qualifications, his company's qualifications rather. He filled out our registration form, provided proof of insurance, a general contractor license. I don't know the details of it, but certainly is there, and his W-9 form. And so I've looked into the insurance. It's good, and like I said, I don't know that we can have too many contacts when it comes to repairs to our water system. So he mentioned that they could do repairs, they can do meter settings, they can do new service taps, anything of that nature. One thing he's not able to do at this time is locating, because I asked. So. And so with that, similar to either the December or January meeting from the past here, essentially you've got the vendor's registration form in front of you. It would be appropriate for the council to consider if they would like to add Southern Terrain LLC to the town's approved vendor list, and that's the purpose of this agenda item.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wagner.
Did anybody on council interview Mr. Seth Webster?
No, I've not spoken with him.
Did Mr. Foy speak to him, do you know?
No. Not, well, I can't speak on his behalf.
Not that you know of.
Not that I know of, that's right.
I think we could always use another one, but what I see here is a copy of a general contracting license. That doesn't, what we're looking for to do our work on our municipal water system is a public utility contractor's license. Or maybe this covers that somehow. Do you know, Mr. Wagner?
I don't. I did see the license. I'm not versed enough on general contractor law to know if that's covered. I remember we recently approved a vendor and the qualifications were listed on the North Carolina Rural Water Association site. I wonder if the same could be said.
It may be governed by the same board that governs all the general contracting license. So they certainly have that license.
Mm-hmm.
Who's he doing work for?
He's got it listed on here. He has done work for, oh goodness. My apologies. When I saw this, I was thinking this was who he's done work for, but this is who he's partners with as far as his parts and all that.
And that might be suppliers.
I thought
rather than-
I found some pictures of them online doing some work for Greensboro. Greensboro has a vendor list, but I hadn't checked it against his.
He sent some references. I don't know who they're with, but he did have references. I got it this morning, so or whenever I sent it to everybody. I guess I got it late yesterday afternoon, sent it to everybody this morning. So haven't had a chance to call the references yet, but certainly always try to call those anytime we get them in. So the big thing this morning was making sure that the insurance was valid.
Would this be something that maybe we should dig into a little bit further and get more information before we make a decision?
Or if you wanted to, you could pass a motion, approve them subject to establishing that they have the necessary licenses to work on water lines.
Well, I was thinking of checking references as well.
Okay.
If you look at the vendor cost sheet submission form, it would seem to be that he's interested in doing taps for the town of Stokesdale, but does not have any information down here that would really lead me to believe that there's, we have pricing information for a water main break, an emergency water main break or service line break. It says here that a far side bore, he's allowed $3,500, but he would expect us to pay the actual cost he incurred with the subcontractor. So does that mean I would be adding the $3,500 to, for example, the three-quarter service connection of $2,950 to arrive at a total for a far side bore or connection?
I believe so. If I was looking at that without speaking with Mr. Webster, my assumption is that's correct, that I think that he's got his costs listed there for the service connection. That's probably going to be near side. If boring under the roadway is required, then looks like there's an allowance of $3,500. And the actual cost is based on subcontractor quotes. I don't think it would exceed $3,500,
Well,
but I can confirm that.
where he says, for example, labor needed, there's no labor rate. We require our other utility contractors to provide us with that number. We can only hire them based on an approved price list in advance, or then we run amok of the finance laws that Ms. Thacker has to follow.
Understood. I don't quite see that. I don't see the labor rate on the call sheet. I do see where he's listed out his per hour rate for trucks and his per hour rate for an operator. Is that what you're referring to?
If we called him to fix a water main break in the middle of the night, have enough on this sheet to be able to determine how much we would be charged.
Gotcha.
But the taps, he looks like he's got the taps covered.
I will say it's the same sheet that's used by our other two vendors, so it's the same sheet. It's used by all of them.
But do the other vendors fill in those? So
I
maybe-
think, I know that one has. I'm not sure about the other. I had to look at it, pull it up to see. But I did explain to him if there was something that he was not able to do, put not applicable. So I understand some companies aren't as large as others. They can't take on everything.
Maybe we should fill in the blanks and bring this up next month. You good with that?
I move we continue to the August meeting, this agenda item.
Second.
And try to get further clarification from this vendor about the price sheet and get it, I think it would be prudent for him to put in not applicable or put a rate in. I guess that's what I was asking him to do.
Okay, yeah, understood. And I'll clarify the boring cost as well. I'm assuming that's in addition to what's listed, but you know what happens when you assume.
Yeah, well, and it would give us an opportunity to follow up on some of those references and perhaps meet with them in person and that kind of thing. So thank you, Mr. Jones, for making that motion. Okay, that said, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Who's second?
I did, sir.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Ready to vote? Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Landry?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye, aye.
And I am also aye. With that said, the price sheet was number 13, or item number 13, so that will be continued as well. Okay, we do have an addenda, an additional item on the agenda with regard to, this will be item 13A. Yeah, let me see if I can find the right.
And that's going to be another one of the attachments that wasn't in your original packet. I received that early this morning and sent that out to everybody this afternoon.
Yes, so this is, excuse me, just real quickly to recap, and Robbie, if you want to do this, it's fine, I don't have to read, you wrote it.
I'll be glad to. I won't be as long as my email. I'll keep it brief. But essentially, as you all know, Mr. Burton of After Five Backflow had provided the town with a revised quote at the last meeting. It was approved by the town council. That quote was for $2,240 for the repair and testing and submission of those test results to the Winston-Salem of our backflow preventers at the interconnection with Winston. On the 1st of July, Mr. Burton and his team had went out there on site to complete the repair. Upon working on that, they got into it. Once they got the bolts off, got in there, they noticed an unforeseen issue, that being that the second check assembly for the Wilkins 6-inch backflow preventer was cracked and broken. This condition was not visible until the assembly had been removed. So because of this, they temporarily suspended the repair, ordered a second check assembly from Specialty Valves and Controls on the 2nd. And after they received that part, they came back on July the 8th, which was yesterday, and completed the repair. Mr. Burton informed me of this yesterday after the repair was complete, and had asked about the additional cost, and explained that council had approved a quote of an amount of $2,240. And so the invoice that we've received is exactly $742.74 higher than that. The good news is he's provided me with his paid invoice from the supplier, and he has only charged us for the part. There was no markup on the part from Mr. Burton, and there was also no charge for labor on that. And he's also, if you look on the very back, there's an image of that broken check valve. And so with that, what that boils down to is we have a invoice for an amount higher than what was approved. And so that's why it's before you today to consider authorizing the payment of this invoice.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wagner.
Do we have the old parts?
I knew you were going to ask that. I don't have them. I don't know if Mr. Burton has them. But I sent him an email today asking him to send me the passing results, and I almost put on there, can you get me the old parts while you're at it? Because I think somebody might ask, and I didn't. And so I don't have them, but I'll be glad to ask for them if it's not too late. So it was just completed yesterday, so maybe he hasn't cleaned his van out yet.
Well, I'd like to see them just as one last check for the benefit of the citizens' money.
But I can certainly do that. I'll make a note right now to reach out to Mr. Burton.
So, Ms. Thacker, he hasn't been paid anything yet, and now he's invoiced us for $2,982.74, right?
That's correct.
When we originally approved $2,240.
Yes.
But he found hidden damage in a critical water system component that needs to be in service. I'll make a motion to approve this, to allow Ms. Thacker to provide payment for this invoice number 103 in the amount of $2,982.74.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, very good. Any further discussion? We'll vote. Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I'm,
And I am also aye.
That's a picture of it there.
Yes, that's correct. That's a picture of the broken part. That's right. And before we get too far after this, I just want to mention, I'll be speaking with Mr. Burton and Mr. Klontz as well. I'll let them decide who wants to do it. But this is something that the city of Winston requires us to have checked annually, just like we require backflows to be, backflow preventers, that is, checked annually for commercial properties here in town. And so I think it may be good to get with them about maybe doing this on an annual basis, and certainly not.
I would be interested in getting him under some sort of agreement instead of him just showing up, I need the key, I'm going down there to check it. That's not a way we need to be doing business. And so if you could contact him and ask him to submit proper paperwork that we could vote on. Maybe we could, vote on a continuing agreement with both parties having the option to cancel perhaps.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
Great idea. Okay. Moves along to item number 14, which is another opportunity for public comments from the floor. Do we have anyone that would like to speak?
We vote on that last motion.
That's the same thing. Yeah.
If you'd like to vote again, I will be opposed.
Okay.
Did.
I think I've got,
I fell behind in my note taking, just making sure, senior moment, I'm entitled.
Yeah, we may need you after the closed session. You know that?
Okay, yes, we did. Okay. Any public comments? Okay. We'll go on to item 15 with town council comments. Mr. Rigsby?
Thank everybody for coming out tonight, and stay cool. It's hot out there.
Any other comments, Jimmy?
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. It's good to see Mr. and Miss Flynn in. John, we're carrying on your tradition. You guys kept us tax-free for years and kept the guys with the clipboards out of our backyards and stuff. And I've said it many times up here at the end of the night that I appreciate it. And we're trying to carry it on. And thank everybody else for being here. And hopefully we'll get something for you guys. If you don't, y'all can get the tar and feather out.
Don't put any thoughts in there. Mr. Jones?
I was sent an interesting quote today that I want to read into the record, and that is, I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. Thomas Jefferson. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Well, again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Yeah, I know you have other things to do on a warm summer July night, but we do appreciate your participation in this. We are going to go into closed session here. Mr. Winfrey, have you had an opportunity to look over the?
I thought when we break that, I would speak with Mr. Thompson briefly before I come back in there.
Correct. Okay, that's why I was asking.
Okay.
We'll take a brief respite before we do enter into closed session. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and vote on closed session, if that's okay.
Now, we may need Kim possibly for a question or two about this. I mean,
Probably.
okay, so if you could just.
Okay. What we'll do is, I move that Stokesdale Town Council enter into closed session in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3. The purpose of the closed session is to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged. Do I have a second?
Second.
We'll vote. Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Landry?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I am I.
And I am also aye. Thank you, and we'll meet there in just a few minutes.
Make sure I got everything.
Okay, it is 10:48 PM, and hereby reconvene the open session for the town council meeting of July 9th, and it is still July 9th.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Rigsby. And we'll vote.
Aye.
Mr. Langer.
Aye.
Mr. Jones. I am also aye.
Mr. Mayor, I have some,
Motions.
motions, yeah. I won't say resolutions, but motions.
Let's do some-
The first one, I make a motion to amend the agreement between between Guilford County and the town of Stokesdale to amend the funding agreement for the ARPA funds to eliminate the installation of the diffuser/stirrer and replace it with the following: repainting the water tank, locate approximately 7 to 10 main line gate valves and repair as needed, as well as replacing the existing manual read meters with new auto read meters.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second. Second.
Mr. Langer, seconds. Any discussion? We'll vote. Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I'm,
And I am aye also.
I have another motion, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Motion to
Mr.
pay $3,604 to the Eastwood at Angels Glen Homeowners Association for the excavation and locating of a water leak that was later determined to be the town's responsibility.
Very good. We have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second. Any discussion? We'll vote. Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I'm,
I am aye also.
Final motion. I'd like to make a motion that the town authorize A&D specifically to make a reasonable attempt to locate the existing tap at 8606 Ellisburg Road. If it cannot be located, proceed with installing a new tap on Strand, is it Drive? Strand Drive? Strand Street. To service the property at 8606 Ellisburg Road. This will be at the town's expense.
I'll second.
Very good. Any further discussion?
Thought we was gonna charge the property owner double.
I expect the property owner to be out there between now and then, like digging and see if he can find it himself. Well, I know what happened last time he was out in the yard, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready for a vote then, Mr. Rigsby?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I'm,
I am aye also. Okey dokey. We do have some announcements.
You lose your water tap.
7:14, regular Board of Adjustment meeting at 7 o'clock in this room. On 7:22, we have a regular future land use plan meeting at 7 o'clock in this room. We have a planning board meeting for July the 23rd in this room at 7 o'clock. Again, we have a regular land use plan committee meeting at 7 o'clock on August the 5th in this room. On August the 11th, we have a Board of Adjustment meeting at 7 o'clock PM. And then on August the 13th, we have a regular town council meeting at 7 o'clock in this room. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Yes. I'll second, and we'll vote. Mr. Rigsby.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I'm,
And I am aye also. Thank you, everyone who stayed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep, your property taxes will be going up, Mr. Flynn, as a result of this.
According to Phil Burton or somebody, you can only raise it a certain percent.
Well, we'll raise it high as we can.
For 1 year, next year, they jack it at the roof.
Who knows?